Welcome to Final Thoughts Podcast, brought to you by CrossfaderLA.com, blending culture and creativity.
Clap when you're about to start.
Oh. Welcome to Final Thoughts here. I'm your host, Jeremiah Mario Williamson the First, with my co-host, Father, aka Mario, and brother, aka Jonathan. I was weird order, but it's fine. We're here to talk about the hottest new album, mixtape actually, by acclaimed artist, Jonathan.
Her name is Doechii. I mean, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it
You're
correctly.
not, Jonathan will.
Doechii?
Doechii
Doechii from Florida.
Tampa.
But that's
yeah. So, that by Doechii, and new mixtape by Doechii, and it is called... Anyway?
Alligator bites don't heal.
Alligator bites never heal. And so, talking about today...
It's a good memory, that's all.
Yeah, it's gonna, this guy's got on today. Something about that today, one was your classic news and singles, and it's a pretty special singles news by one Kendrick Lamar that you a little bit there. But for now, let's start it off as we always do with our news. Father, news, what we got?
For me, I have a couple different stories, but we'll try to just narrow it down to one. I feel like Kendrick Lamar has like 5 news articles just in the last 72 hours or whatever. He announced that he's doing the Super Bowl in 2025, and that has created mad controversy. You also have Kendrick Lamar that dropped a single over the last 24 hours, and it's untitled as of right now, and I think you're going to talk about that. And then as well as Kendrick Lamar also, what else did he do? He did like, what's that say? I got like a whole list of them. Why are you laughing?
Because specifically, we didn't say he was to do Kendrick Lamar single before we started recording.
Nobody has, yeah.
Oh, I thought
you totally just, nope.
Alright, well, I'm just sharing this, whatever.
No, I mean, I guess I'm doing it now.
That's all on you.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, Kendrick Lamar also dropped 2 other MCs that I've heard of before, and then another one that I know you guys have specifically heard of. He mentioned an MC by the name of Lecrae, which is a Christian rapper, and also another very positive-oriented rapper by the name of D1. We have heard of him maybe like 10, 15 years ago.
I've been listening to D1 since I was actually in middle school.
Yeah,
I was playing Assassin's Creed on PS3.
Yeah.
And he was a very good MC back then, and I know he hasn't fallen into the traps of mainstream, but the fact that Kendrick Lamar started him out, that's really good for him. So yeah. I'm not sure if Lecrae and D1 are ready for that Kendrick stimulus package, but we'll soon find out.
I mean, D1's always seemed pretty secure in his journey, I guess, for that way to put it. Like he's a rapper, he's a school teacher, right? Like I feel like I don't think this like shout out will come as like a disruption to his life, I guess. Does that makes sense? I feel like it'll be like the time to take it in stride and keep doing what he's doing, and it's my prediction.
Yeah, go listen to D1 David and Goliath.
Yeah, that's definitely at this point. I guess an old classic at this point. It's been for some years.
And then the last portion of my news is that this single that Kenny dropped is basically almost like an anthem to shutting down the party. He mentions, I don't know how many times, like, it's time for the party to die. And so everyone's trying to figure out what is he reference to. It sounds like he's referencing the entire music industry, and it's just coincidental that he dropped the song at 5 o'clock yesterday, September 11th, at the very same time that the VMAs award show was starting. So is there a subliminal diss to the VMAs or to the music industry? That is something that we're still trying to decipher.
Wait. Were the VMAs on 9/11 this year?
Yes, they were. It was yesterday.
Wild.
It is a little wild. Do you think they mentioned it at the VMAs? I didn't watch the VMAs, but like
Chapel Row into the castle on fire. I don't think they mentioned it.
And this, you weren't there for our conversation prior. And I was mentioning that I feel like, I hate to say it, that 9/11 almost feels like an afterthought. Like I know people were saying, hey, we got to take a few minutes out to remember all the lives that we lost on that particular day and how it affected the United States. But I almost like it's being, forgotten a little bit.
I think, yeah. And
especially since the VMAs were on September 11th, it's like, I don't know, it's like a day of observance, not necessarily a day of having a big party, So that was just my thoughts.
I think it was just definitely getting to it. It's definitely been a change of how the public perceives 9/11 as people get born more away from the actual event itself and kind of look from a different angle.
Right.
And have also perspective of having a lot more just like death happen around. I don't think growing up with like the constant gun violence plus like COVID, I think will just change how you view death and change how you view an event like that, which I think just contributes to us having that change in perspective of 9/11 as like get farther away from it. But that's a whole other thing. I think it's a very interesting thing to think about and to kind of think about why that's happening for sure. I truly thought he was, but I think that actually there was a news article written on 9/11 way back in like 2001, 2002 that references that like after this event, you know, the fun times are over, quote unquote, the party is over. And I'm wondering if like Kendrick releasing the song on that day is like a reference even just to that idea that like not to that in itself, but the idea that like, you know, this is when things get serious. This is when like the games stop. This is when like you're in like quote unquote war times. And in this case, seemingly like it's like a war against potentially the music industry. It feels like Kendrick really has like a real, not I would say hatred, but a real like passion for change in something that I think is not quite yet what exactly it is, but probably it's very related to the industry. I don't know. So I'm interested to see if this new album coming soon elaborates on that at all.
I kind of feel that, and I think because Kendrick often talks about the culture, and if he's specifically talking about the culture of hip hop, you know, back in, let's say, in my times coming up or whatever in hip hop world or community, there was this sense of improving our lives and trying to do better, and you know, there was more a sense of just improving, you know, overall, right? And I think hip hop has definitely changed. It's no longer about improving. It's just about getting a quick money and showing off and being flashy and not necessarily helping each other out. And I think he's kind of he wants to go back to that time of knowledge and teaching and building and things of that nature. And so I feel like in this single that he dropped, he's kind of just saying like the party's over, like we're done shaking our ass on TV and just, you know, like I said, just chasing money and not really caring about our fellow neighbor and things of that nature. And so I think he's just making a statement like it's time to move on past that. And that's exactly what I think the aim he's showcasing.
I mean, yeah, that's a very interesting take on that for sure. Like, you know, that it's time for the industry to like mature almost, and I kind of, to quote the youth, to like lock in almost, and it really gets you to what you're trying to do. Justin, maybe elaborate on that, or do you guys agree?
I think it's funny because for the longest time, I specifically felt that the opinion that hip hop and younger artists need to lock in and be more serious is like it's such an old head take. Right. Because I just don't feel like I've listened to Reasonable Doubt. I hear the shit that Jay-Z says on Reasonable Doubt, and I'm like, you can't be sitting here now telling me, hey man, you gotta lock in. You can't be talking about, you know, X, Y, and Z. Like, what do you mean? Jay-Z was not talking about this community. He was out there slinging crack. He was destroying his community. Yeah. So like, to tell the younger generation they need to, you know, work on fixing the community is all fine and dandy, but like it's like the what's it, the pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I hear people talk about that. So like,
that reminds me of what? I think there is not even a song, like a J. Cole like series of songs that kind of talk about that. This idea really takes Patrick. He's kind of like he's rappers talking about like money and drugs. Hope they like learn and mature. And it's like, bro, you were not when they were your age. You were not like mature. You were like talking about that same shit, man. Like I heard fucking like that fucking. I remember this car actually did it a little bit, but I heard your early shit. It was not this like chase close shit. Yeah. It was like at the club. It was like, you know, think promiscuous and shit. Like and like it then feels weird to like then go to shame the generation going into that same like growing pains phase.
It's I not to cut you off, but it's kind of I kind of feel I can see Kendrick's point, and I definitely understand what you're saying, John, because I can tell you guys, hey, don't do this, don't fall in these money traps, don't whatever, right? But you guys have to kind of experience life for yourself and learn from that. You know what I mean? Like I've always said, I'll let you guys stumble. I'll never let you guys fall, because I think that you guys have to make mistakes and kind of learn from the experiences that you go through.
That make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I
Yeah, but no, thank you.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, I feel like whether it's Kendrick or anyone else in the hip hop community that wants to talk about like uplifting the culture and supporting the culture, I feel like I want to see you lead by example before I hear you say any of that.
Mm-hmm. I think for me that's a fair point for sure. I think for me it's a little bit like huge father's example, right? If I go out there and I lose 10K on a horse bet, right? And
Crazy horse bet.
For one, I had 10K in the first place, well, and then I lose it.
And then you lose it.
Ooh. But like, it's like I make that stumble, if that's to like come help me out, right? Which would suck. But hypothetically, father would then not for the next 10 years being like, man, look at this guy, he fucking sucks. He went worse better, right? Like he wouldn't like throw it in my face like so often, right? I would feel like a little bit. I feel like, that's kind of doing when they're kind of making these songs where kind of like y'all are like doing all this shit so like superficial and shit. It's like I remember J. Clover's part tried to not do this so much, but kind of like that too. But in my mind, engage with this, like he's kind of like yes, he's like trying to correct him to be mature, but he's doing it through this lens of like almost in my mind it feels a little bit like hypocrisy, a little bit. It's like it's kind of like there is not that building up. So like to be mature, it's like a using that to get up, but then like kind of spitting on that same like learning experience.
I will say though, because you mentioned J. Cole, I've always felt like J. Cole had his head on straight. Like like he finished college. He rides around New York on a bike. He's like one of those individuals, those MCs, those rappers. He has money in the bank, but he's not flossing. He's not out showcasing what he has. And he when he spits, I think he really delivers a strong message, no matter how he does it. And so I think J. Cole I think he's always been mature. You know what I mean? And like you said, like as you when you're young and you're first coming out, you're gonna talk shit, you're gonna do whatever, because it's a part of growing up and going through life, whatever. But I feel that J. Cole is definitely one of those guys that will be a leader no matter what he does. And like right now, he can be rap. I can see him down the line transitioning into something more political.
Oh, okay, I see that.
J. Cole president. Cool.
J. Cole president.
All right. So then, those are the points. I think then
that was my news. What's your news?
Yeah, I have two news stories. One is actually very indulgent. Nothing to do with music, but we'll talk about everything here. PS5 announced PS5 next. It's a quick notice.
Isn't it PS5 Pro?
Yeah, PS5 Pro.
Okay.
It's gonna cost something like $700, which is already a lot. But additionally, the disc cartridge comes sold separately for $100.
Is that what? Wait, no way.
Yes, like a very. Like,
you got a confirmation on this?
Yes.
Isn't it like the internet rumor?
No, it's like a fucking confirmed detail that you have to pay in total for the console, and then separately for the thing the disc goes inside.
I mean,
as two different things.
To defend Sony,
you don't have
the slightest amount.
You have to do it,
but I can, right?
Okay,
but I'm allowed to. I have freedom of speech here in America.
Sure.
So the it sounds crazy when you say it like that, but the PS5 right now, you can buy a digital version and you can buy the version with the physical. The digital version is already cheaper than the physical version. So really all they're saying is instead of having two versions, it's one version. You can get the version, no disc, you just buy digital games. Or if you're still like to have the physicals, you can get the disc cartridge for that extra amount. You wouldn't pay anyways.
Wait. I think we're a little bit skewing those numbers because I feel like it is more expensive, but not by so much where you would justify buying $100.
It's $100 difference.
No.
Yeah, it's like $3.99 to $4.99.
Yeah,
for digital versus physical. So it's the same thing. You just pay an extra $100 for the physical.
Wait, I'm sorry. So if
for the cartridge reader or whatever the
disc reader,
the ROM or whatever you want.
Yeah, but that actual game itself is not a difference per game, right? It's like like Far Cry 6 digitally costs like $60. It's not then cost $160 on physical.
But you know,
you just buy that thing once, right?
You're saying, are you trying to say that you'd buy this cartridge for every single game you play?
I'm saying for people still do that, yeah.
No, I would assume that. For example, we have laptops. If you wanted to add a CD reader to it, you would spend $40-$50, and then you put your CD in it. You're just gonna buy one CD writer. You're not gonna buy a CD writer for every.
Yeah. So the writer, yes. I'm talking about yes. You're right. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I was sorry. I think I was trying to talk about like trying to understand. Sorry, the mathematical breakdown here of how it's buying a $100 disc reader.
Yes.
Makes sense if say you buy games both physically and digitally.
Because if you bought, because they've already done this with the PS5 originally. You can get the digital version without the disc reader for, let's say, $3.99, and you can get the version with the physical disc reader for $5.99. You can't even buy an upgrade. You either buy the digital or you buy the physical version.
I'm just saying Nintendo Switch should not do this kind of thing. It could just still the whole thing. You're fine. And speaking of burning down the industry with smart career moves, VMAs. That's what we're here talking about music and shit. VMAs, right? Chappell Rowan performed at the VMAs. Incredible, right? She came out looking like Rowan Park, crossbow in hand, burning down an entire cast like it was nothing. Then wanted to perform some gay songs, which were great. It's just a great time. And then so there was that, right? There's also performances that are really great by Katy Perry, Doechii, Sabrina Carpenter killed her performances really well as well. There's also a continuation of a topic from a couple weeks ago that we had on here about Chappell Rowan talking about boundaries and privacy, and talking about people treat her a certain way because of her popularity, right? And so at the VMAs, she had a sort of an altercation with a photographer who was basically being rude to her verbally, and instead of just kind of letting it slide, she kind of clapped back at him like, "Hey, shut the fuck up, man." And people were like, yeah, I mean, you were talking some mad shit to her, what did you think's gonna happen, right? I think this kind of speaks to this increasing thing of that she has pointed out people treating her a certain way because they think her level of fame gives them an access to her space that they don't have, right? Like, you can't tell a person you see on the street, just shut the fuck up. I'm from Puerto Rico, expect them not to return the favor to you, right?
Jeremiah, shut the fuck up.
And that's just rude, right?
And it's just rude.
Again, that's different because this is my father, right? It's a whole different dynamic going on here between, if my producer here told me something like that, the whole other story, right? Or the brother here said a other story, right? Or if, some person will come in and say, "Look at my face right now," it'd be a whole other story, right? But it's just, yeah, I support Chappell Rowan in her crusade to establish her boundaries between herself, her personal life, and in her public. And other quick VMA news, controversy. Katy Perry in the news because she won the award for best VMA performance for 2013's Roar she did at the VMAs. 2013.
Oh, I did hear you correctly. Okay.
Yeah, which is an interesting choice. All things, I'm not saying it's a bad choice, but I'm implying it's a bad choice. Because there are just a lot between top of my head. There's Lady Gaga performance VMAs was really good. Hell, this fucking year's performance is really good. And I just don't know if the Katy Perry Roar performance is really good. And people have been theorizing that it was made that way because of Katy Perry's career currently in a kind of low state after her acting sales.
Katy Perry needed a win.
Basically, that is how the theory goes.
Let's let her have it. Come on, man. Let's let her have it.
I had a question. Was there any ramifications for the photographer that was rude?
I actually don't know. I don't know. Truthfully, with how much free reign paparazzi characters will have, I don't know if that's who was. I would hope so, but I don't know. But I will say, actually, to that point, a lot of celebrities, since and after, Minsky, Sabrina Carpenter, other people, had reached out to Chappell Rowan to get off their condolences of these struggles of being public figure people think they have access to because of your fame.
Did you say Kelly Rowland?
Chappell Rowan.
No, because I was just remembering that Kelly Rowland also got into it, but no, that wasn't the paparazzi. That was security. Never mind.
Just to editorialize a little bit. The celebrities who reached out to support Chappell Rowan, I am 90% sure that wasn't in response to the VMAs.
Yes,
that was in response to her earlier comments about people not.
Yeah, I was saying mostly before. Yeah, that's true.
I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I think don't be weird to people you see on the street. It's kind of more that one.
I get it. Boundaries are important. That's why I'm not calling text.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's why. Anyway,
segue to that guy.
segue to that guy, brother.
Yo, what's up?
What's the
So my news story is, it is news related. I think it's fair to say that.
Sure.
My news story is that Taylor Swift, the biggest artist in the world, I think it's fair to say.
Ooh,
Biggest recording artist in the world.
But that call actually is she?
I think that's
so.
I think that's an accurate statement.
Oh man, that's lots.
Biggest recording artist in the world. About 283 million followers on Instagram. Went ahead and logged on Instagram after the debate and endorsed Kamala Harris for president this year, the upcoming election. She's encouraging her fans to, do their own research and, go ahead and vote, go register to vote, make a plan to vote early. And that, I think that's going to have a really big impact on this year's election. I've been following this election cycle very closely. It's almost like a morbid curiosity right now for me to keep up with all the election news. So I found that news really exciting. I was waiting for Taylor Swift to respond to the AI.
We talked about this a little 2 weeks ago, actually. About
the AI images that Trump retweeted.
Absolutely.
I would say, and she did say in her statement specifically that those images and him doing that was a factor in her coming out and announcing her support for Kamala Harris, because otherwise, this disinformation and misinformation would have gone unchecked. And she's made it clear that the best way to combat this misinformation is to tell the truth. And the truth is, she's going to be one of Kamala Harris this year.
Do you think there was any reason why she waited until after the debate to make that announcement?
So I don't know if it was intentional or not, or if she just watched the debate and she feels feeling really inspired. I'm sure it was intentional. So as a person who was chilling at home that day and watched the debate, I have this opinion of the media that they could have spanned that debate any way they wanted. Kamala Harris definitely won, but there definitely could have been people who would have adamantly said Trump won for X, Y, or Z reason.
There are people that say that.
Exactly. So I feel like, and also we didn't know how the debate was going to go, right? Kamala could have done absolutely terrible. So my opinion and my tinfoil theory is that she was going to do this after the debate no matter what, because even if in the scenario that Kamala Harris had a really bad night, her announcing her endorsement would overshadow that story.
Hey, quick check on all of this. And thinking about it, is there a reason that we call her Kamala, not Harris? If we call Biden, Obama, and Trump Harris?
I mean, I guess you could.
You could. As Vice President Harris, Madam Harris.
I mean, Harris, Madam Harris.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like, I guess we are calling her first name a lot, which I think is like a little bit weird.
I know. I did say Trump.
We call Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, Bush, Kamala Harris have in common.
Hey, woman.
I mean, yeah. So what I'm saying, are we like subconsciously like kind of like being a little bit
biased?
Yeah,
George. You call him Bush?
Bush.
Because there's too many George Bushes. There's too many Clintons.
Yeah,
that's the reason for those. Kamala, I got none.
I got none.
I got none.
Everybody keeps saying her name
roll
wrong.
off tongue. I like saying it personally.
That's fair.
I like saying her name.
Okay. I mean, so that's up to at least consider that. It's in the brain.
And just for the record, there were no cats or dogs harmed during the recording of this episode of Final Thoughts.
Thank you for clarifying that.
We're not in Springfield, but I just want to make sure that
everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, that's to be clear, that's a very harmful rumor. Don't believe it.
Don't believe it. That's the truth. Don't believe it.
Also, but wait to the voting though. There was, I believe there was like an announcement that there's now an official. There's like a website you can go to where if you believe you have been unfairly removed from voter registration, you can go to and like submit another claim to get yourself back on the registration. Yeah,
on the what?
Not by the White House. Like if you return to vote, and for some reason find yourself taken off the registration to vote for some reason. The White House released a statement so you can go check one of their websites. To,
was it Texas? So they said like 1 million people were removed from...
I think
it was Texas.
Texas or Georgia, something like that.
I think it was Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it was like 1 million people were removed from voting. And they just wanted to keep it quote unquote fair and...
Yeah.
One last fact about the Taylor Swift endorsement is that, that was on Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah.
So now we know that from that post between Tuesday and now, about 300,000 people went and clicked on the link to go register to vote. and make plans to, and assumingly make plans to vote, and that number could definitely sway the election.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Can I also point out a conspiracy theory?
What's your conspiracy theory?
That she only did it. She was gonna do it regardless because of the Brittany Mahomes.
Oh, let me.
Yeah,
you're
right.
That is one last factor.
Yeah, push me one to I
can touch about facing that real quick.
Yeah.
So the other factor that may have pushed her to make this endorsement is that Taylor and her boyfriend Travis have been hanging out with is it Patrick Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes?
Yeah.
And I guess Brittany is a Trump supporter. Good for her. Yeah, more power to you for making your own decisions, whatever. And they were all hanging out. And because Taylor and Brittany were in the same space and they were cool, people were kind of like, oh, Taylor obviously is, leaning Trump. She's obviously, on that side of things, and that she, doesn't care about these issues anymore. So that's another thing that may have lit a fire under her. Like, I gotta say something, because if not, it's gonna ruin. It's gonna hurt. It does hurt her image.
Yeah,
there are people who I would definitely hurt her image for like just.
There were even think pieces written before just about how her silence says a lot. Right?
Yeah,
but,
her silence about the AI images was crazy to me.
Yeah,
I'll admit, that was really you're not saying anything. I guess you just really don't care, but she does care.
Yeah, I think. Honestly, I think if not her, someone in the business team said, "Hey, business-wise, our bottom line's going to hurt you." One way or the other, make us down on this.
I think so. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's also because she came out with a movie documentary during COVID.
She did. That's right.
Called Miss Americana, and it was very political heavy on where she stands and who she supports.
Right.
So her silence throughout everything going on with Palestine and just the AI images and the elections, it was really jarring to her audience, because they were you were so outspoken in 2020.
Yeah.
Why aren't you outspoken now?
Right. And people to this day still want to speak on Palestine, I think, for that reason too, right? So it's I think for someone who has that thing politics a part of her too much in the past, her silence this year has definitely sent waves across people listening to her. Yeah, that's really good story. But yeah, I've got really cool.
All right, let's hop into
single seconds.
Everyone's favorite segment, single seconds.
Play the jingle. Starting with my single of the week. I guess I have two. I have 2 ones that are cheating, honestly. One, the Kendrick Lamar song. Kendrick Lamar's new song, "Not Like Us."
Part 2?
I'm gonna call it "The Party Just Died." Personally. Okay. That's what I'm gonna call it for now.
Somebody said it was the Heart 6, but they couldn't use the name because your boy took the name.
I did think it felt like a Hard Part 6, but I
Man, Drake Beef something in a trash song.
He did. I just sometimes forget how bad. I forget that he did really bad on that.
You know what, Edward? We could put that in Hard Part 6 a little bit here, just to.
Hard Part 6 is so bad.
God, what a trash song. Anyway,
it's bad. And I'm a biggest Drake fan here. That is a bad song.
God, I think more than anything, that's what this one debate was in the rap battle was that song. Anyway, The Party Just Died. What a song. What a it's been said a lot of times, but what a I was not expecting such a melancholic song. It's not as melancholic as I don't know, Meet the Grams, which is kind of scary. But it definitely feels like someone going to a funeral that they caused,
The process that, right?
But I think honestly, I like it a lot. I would put on repeat for on streaming. So that's for me personally.
I agree.
I like it definitely. I think I'm not sure because we don't have any information on it. We don't have a name for the song, but I kind of feel that The Alchemist produced that beat.
To dive into, I know we talked about it earlier, a little bit of song. I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you guys think this is a break diss? Would you consider this a break diss?
I've heard both points about it. I kind of feel like it is not a Drake diss specifically, but it's a critique of Drake's archetype.
I feel like he caught it straight.
Yeah, he definitely
caught it straight. I mean, I
definitely got it straight.
He may not mention his name or whatever, but he definitely caught it straight.
I think the ad for the Super Bowl was a Drake diss to this actual song was.
I think that's accurate.
Very accurate, very accurate. And if you guys haven't seen the NFL 2025 Super Bowl announcement, you gotta go check it out. There's probably at least 20 Easter eggs in there where he's subliminally dissing Drake. So, and I'm not gonna tell him. You just gotta go look at it and then go watch all the YouTube videos of everyone talking about, oh my God, did you see this, see that, blah, blah, blah.
Now, I will give Drake this. He made for great content with the rap beef.
He did.
He really did.
I wanted to check and see if maybe it was on DSP since it's Thursday at 10, but it's not out, so
Yeah.
go ahead.
The other song is a full album, which is to say, it is the next part of the epic saga, the wisdom saga. That's the next part.
It's Wisdom, it's out?
It's out.
Oh, wait.
This point.
Is it over yet?
No.
How much more do you know? How much more?
Yeah, I think it was two titles out. So,
Should I listen to Wisdom now?
honestly, no, just wait.
Oh, wait.
Let's wait. Let's talk about it a little bit. The ending, like this saga is the latest part in the story of Odysseus. Getting back to his home, and it is definitely the part that is the most experimental because it is the part that has Odie himself the least. He's not one song in the whole. And I think that choice leads to some very interesting experiments with who is saying what, with Uncle John's kind of get into a little bit. You meet his son, you kind of follow a theme a little bit more. And it's a very good part of the saga, but it definitely feels like a transition chapter in the story. Like it kind of feels like it lacks for me the big ending punch that the last song had. That Thunder really had when it ended. So good songs to talk about. I would say only 5 songs long. This saga, unless you really don't want to wait, in case you shouldn't. I think that there's only 2 sagas left in the story. It's pretty exciting. You're down to Odysseus fighting Poseidon somehow, and then the last chapter. So we're 2 left.
I'm most excited to see Odysseus fight Poseidon. Or, I guess not see, to hear Odysseus fight Poseidon.
Yeah, someone didn't watch side B, but he did, so that's fine.
That's fine.
Anyway,
it was a good time. We had a good time. We had a good time.
Honestly, it was lovely. We should go back and listen to it. And just...
Is that when I was in Vegas at the Illmatic?
No,
no, it wasn't that hard.
Okay.
No, it's not when you're in Vegas in the Illmatic concert.
But go ahead. All right.
No, the mechanics pretty good. I think as an album itself, I think it lacks some of the punching ending. I love things about the last song, but this I'm going to come on here. But it's good. It's fun. I think that it will be better in the context of the whole thing is finished. I think it's a last song on it.
Yeah. Fair.
Oh, well, my single's not involved in any musicals or any, thesis or stories or whatever you guys are talking about. I just have a simple song, and it's called The Difference.
Big Family.
We just
yeah, what was that?
It's a simple song. It's a single.
It's always the old heads, man.
Yeah, it's not down here.
I wasn't trying anything new.
You can just click on it, listen to it. If you don't like it, skip it. You ain't gotta go through the anthology of Poseidon and whoever else and shit.
Hey, man, people love the Odyssey.
That's great. People love the Odyssey for absolute
love the Odyssey. The Odyssey will be remembered forever. Longer than your single.
I didn't ditch the Odyssey. I think Odyssey is great. I just don't know.
What story is Odyssey? What happens in Odyssey?
I wasn't listening to it. That's what happened.
You never read it in school?
No.
Damn.
I've never heard of it before.
Never heard of the Odyssey.
Odyssey word?
Negative.
Okay, we have to write you here actually.
I mean, it probably was written after I graduated from high school.
It was written in 20 AD, I think.
No.
Maybe 20 BC.
Is it called the Bible? You guys are calling it something else?
Oh no, brother! I think her dad might have to listen to the Odyssey. Actually, it's kind of violent, right? It's kind of
that crazy.
Why? What?
The Odyssey's a big deal.
The Odyssey's
one of the only stories you have. The Odyssey's the Odyssey is low key the blueprint for every story you've ever seen.
It's kind of yeah.
I mean,
it's like a lot.
The hero's journey comes from the Odyssey. Do you know what the hero's journey is?
no.
Let's move on. Let's move on to single. Literature.
It's the beast I'm teaching with the Odyssey.
I can tell you about the Diary of Anne Frank if that helps.
So what? So what do you think the connection is between what we just were talking about and the Diary of Anne Frank?
It's the only book I remember from high school or whatever.
This is the only book?
Not the only book.
That was a really good book.
It was a good book.
The Black Boy by Richard Wright.
Why did you say black?
I know, right? Like, why? Like,
I'm not. Just you
you might have to like put a little beep over him saying that.
That's the name of the book.
I don't know. Maybe
That's the name of the book.
It's the name of the book.
It's the name of the book. It is the name of the book. It is the name of the book.
It's a wild place for it. John, don't be fucking single, man. It's good.
I don't think I
don't hear single anymore. I'm over it, man.
Oh my goodness.
Father, please tell us the name of your single so we can all promptly forget about it.
Oh my god, what was that?
The Odyssey. It's actually called The Difference by LaRussell and another guy named Really Existing Now.
Didn't we not like his album?
It was alright.
It was okay.
Okay.
But
I think
he
we liked it more than Spell It Butch.
Oh, you're right.
liked it more than the Hush King.
You're right.
No, but Lil Russell has a what's it called, buzz going. He's still growing. He's constantly recording. He's always putting out new content. And so he's collaborating with different people. And the most I think that's gonna pick up on my mic.
Oh, sorry.
I think he's put out a song called The Difference, and it kind of reminds me of old Kanye. At least the beat does. So it's pretty cool. Just somewhere
You're boring him.
Like I'm saying, I'm not talking about the Odyssey.
Sorry, I just.
It's okay.
I'm thinking about Russell.
The rest is cool.
No.
He's that one song.
The Russell we love you.
He has that one song, GT Coopers, when he's sitting in my GT Coupe.
Anyway, moving on to the next single.
Who we got?
Okay, so you know what?
The Odyssey.
I got an actual hot artist to talk about today again.
Taylor Swift.
I'm back here once again telling you guys to go listen to A$AP Rocky. You know what? I was here last week saying the exact same thing, but he put out a new song, so I gotta tell you to go back and listen to the new song, guys. By the time the album comes out, I've told you to listen to every single song on the album at this rate. But we got a new single from A$AP Rocky this last week, Ruby Rosary, featuring everyone's favorite feature artist, J. Cole.
Oh, J. Cole.
So funny.
Speaking of, this is completely
Speaking of Ruby Rosary?
no, but just thinking of people that work with Drake. You mentioned J. Cole, right?
Sure.
And also, so this is just the way I'm looking at it. Just bear with me for a second.
Sure.
So, J. Cole obviously worked with Drake, whatever, cool. Now, also, Lil Yachty is working with Pharrell. What are you doing? Oh, you putting up the motherboard. That's what I'm saying.
J. Cole is Drake, Lil Yachty is Pharrell. Okay, we're trying to figure out where we're
No,
going
but
here.
what I'm saying is I'm seeing these different artists that, have been like
Yes.
in arms with Drake, now working with kind of like his enemies, right?
Oh.
Because Lil Yachty's working with Pharrell, and I forgot the other person, and
So is Lil
J.
Wayne.
Cole. Yeah, so you know what I mean? So, I mean, these
That
people,
song sucks, by the way, guys.
are these people distancing themselves from Drake?
Possibly. I mean, Drake. I mean, I don't know about all that. We just, man,
And side note, not to cut you off, and side note, this whole 2025 Kendrick Lamar performing at Super Bowl, is he going to bring out Lil Wayne?
I think you will.
I think that'd be hilarious.
I feel like you will.
That'd be so funny if he did.
I mean, dude, this is like Drake getting slapped by three people in a row. It's like the Three Stooges, just everybody just getting slapped left and right.
Oh,
There's a gif of of.
he calls them GIFs.
I thought it was. I mean,
Never mind. Never mind this one. Which got right tonight?
I know, maybe not too many to end this tonight.
oh, I'm about to get this.
So what's okay?
Continue with the.
So Odysseus is a captain of 600 men
Oh.
in ancient Greece, and he's fighting the children.
So, guys, about Ruby Rosary. Ruby Rosary is a track. It's one of those psychedelic type beats that A$AP Rocky loves to spit on. And he comes in and does this thing like he always does on these kind of beats. He kills it. J. Cole comes in with the feature. I think this is actually one of J. Cole's more disappointing features. The verse is cool, but it does not match the beat at all. I think J. Cole has the skill and the diversity to pick a better verse and hit a different flow and cadence for this kind of beat, but he didn't. He just kind of spit like the most generic J. Cole flow he could ever do, which isn't bad, but it doesn't fit the beat.
Generic J. Cole, yeah.
Has he kind of fallen off since the whole Drake thing? Because this is like the second verse that he's spit that just hasn't hit the mark. Maybe like second or
What's the
third
other
one.
one?
He spit on. Oh my goodness, you know it. Oh, I can't think of it right now. But he just spit something. And it was like, dude, what was it?
Griffey was pretty bad.
This is
that's
the
not
thing.
Griffey was pretty bad.
Yes.
Griffey was pretty bad.
Yeah, and I think there's one more, but I can't think of it. But anyway.
I mean, I don't know you used to like Chance the Rapper this much.
Oh,
Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what I'm right now.
You're talking about people who fall off. I started. That thing used to be a really good chat time, like when we were growing up. I feel like it's kind of just sad.
You know, I didn't realize that stood out to you.
Yeah.
My little sweater I had with the angel on the back. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I
saw him at the Greek Theater. It was crazy.
Yeah,
good show.
The rapper was you, to be clear. Which used to be great. And I was like, oh, damn, really trash out with John.
I mean, yeah, I remember you introduced me to the coloring book.
Oh, I thought it was a good album.
Yeah, absolutely.
I miss you, Chance.
Damn.
Wasn't he like you did a single like a couple weeks
Chance
ago?
is on his way back, I swear, guys. I swear. One of these days.
The Odyssey.
Chance is following the story of the Odyssey right now, actually. He is on his hero's journey, and I swear to you guys, by the end of it all, he will be our hero.
He's
To
taking
be
a
fair,
scenic
he's
route.
divorcing his wife.
He is divorced.
No, wait, what?
Oh, yeah. I think it's already divorced.
He's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
The music he's released is
Divorce.
post divorce.
That's why he's back. The divorce hindered him.
He's taking a scenic
The divorce held him back from his peak. Now all he needs is an acid
I
tap.
thought he had so many songs about loving his wife. Not that wrong.
That was the one. That's why we all hated it. And that's not why we all hated it. And that's
It had some kind of effect on him. So
That's what we all talked about on the. That's what he talked about on the album that we all hated.
I'm so glad that the most recent album by Logic was pretty good.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would
yeah,
be so
a lot
sad.
of people like it.
It would be so bad. So sad if he also kind of fell off forever.
Chance will be back, I swear. I think his next album will be good. I promise you guys.
But enough of the old people. It's time to talk about the next generation of rappers.
Next generation.
Specifically, one in particular. Doechii.
Doechii, Two Eyes.
Doechii, Two Eyes. And her new hit, Alligator Bites Never Heal album.
Is that a metaphor?
It has to is.
Is it a saying?
I was just saying.
I mean, she's from Florida.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just because like,
If you could, someone could check the exact place.
I'm just curious if that's like I've never heard it before. I'm curious if that's like a saying in Florida. If people in Florida say that, there's a meaning behind it. I'm just curious.
It's not literal, right? Like I'm pretty sure they technically do heal.
No, it might be literal, but that might. I feel like alligator bites could theoretically never heal because of how their teeth are structured,
right?
Oh, yeah.
and therefore that leads it into a metaphor that some injuries, some things you go through don't heal.
Which actually, to kind of, sorry, stop talking about this. I feel like you should kind of mention in some of these songs that like, oh, I'm in a really dark case right now. It's verbatim in a dark case right now. I feel like some of these songs definitely have a negative vibe for another way to them. Like I feel like who's talking about? Who's up? Sometimes we talked about who was it? I forget his name.
Ben Staples.
Thank you. Yeah, Ben Staples was kind of sad, right? That song was kind of sad and happy.
Melancholy.
Yeah. I think this one is the same vibe, but it's like angry.
Melancholy music.
Do you think the whole album, or just a particular song, or what?
It's songs like that's a name, but like honestly, but like there's certain songs on this album that specifically like the ones that has that line about fans of the statues, depicting the statues. There's also the one I want to say it is. It's the one that sounds like Slick Rick kind of Rick name.
Denial's a River.
Yeah,
My favorite song on the album.
Yeah, you know it.
It was really.
That's my favorite song on the album.
I think that was a really well written or well delivered song. I think her storytelling abilities came out on that song. I thought it was really dope. I mean, it was really good.
It's freaking me that the Doechii have studied the hip hop like grades to some degree, right? Like,
Doechii.
I think the test. I'm trying. I've studied the hip hop grades to some degree on this album. The way that she references like different rapping methods, like different like beats. I think she even has some lines to reference like those old like that old Kanye and T-Pain song. Who's that knocking on my window? No.
Who's that knocking at my window?
Yeah. Digital Girls.
Oh, no, not in my catalog. That's not cool.
No? Digital Girls from Kanye?
Nothing.
Digital Girls. Okay, whatever. The old song I recognized Doechii referencing it with one of her lines in this project. So yeah, I just really impressed by her breadth of knowledge and skill on display in this project.
I really admire her. I feel that she had a wide range, and I'm actually disappointed in this album or in this body of work for one reason, and it's a mixtape and not an album. Because I thought it was, I thought it was actually pretty damn good. It's probably some of the better material that we've listened to this season.
What is the difference between a mixtape and an album?
I think there used to be a really tangible one. I really like with the simple one.
Yes.
Before streaming.
Yes.
I think nowadays, I probably should say when you do it.
Yeah, like why is this? Like we call it mixtape, and I think she calls it a mixtape. Why is this not? What? It's kind of like how Child can do with the soundtrack. Like yeah, it's a soundtrack, but it's a fucking album, dude. Like it's an album.
What's good, you know, it's because the songs that you released were about to accompany a movie. So it's making it. Well, the mixtape, I feel like maybe part of it that the songs aren't intended to be cohesive. The thing on the album they are. Like, that's I'll say it's exclusive, right?
I mean, you know what? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's what I'm saying. Who was saying?
I mean, it is like 19 songs, but only 47 minutes total.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? It's like 19 songs, but there's like a lot of snippets and things like that. So, but her, like I said, I think her variety of songs. I think there's a couple of notes that I took. I thought she was like Bullfrog. I thought it was she was spitting fire. I mean, I think honestly, it was just like I thought the album was pretty damn good. I thought Catfish was super gritty, and it just, like you said, it kind of reminds me of that old school hip hop. And I almost feel like this. I almost feel that Kendrick Lamar's latest song that we don't have the title to, something about the party died or whatever.
Yeah.
He's talking about females are spitting better than men are nowadays, and I think it's almost like he could have been talking about her because she is fucking delivering rhymes galore on the song.
I won't say who because I won't be mean, but there was someone else. He almost did this week. Who I think has been like well known for a while.
Yes.
I think covering him and not her would have been a mistake. I think it kind of speaks to like how like as a woman in the game, she's really like putting in all the effort and like really making it stand out, right?
Right. I mean, but you know what? The other thing about this album, so like the song called "Wait," very mellow.
Yeah.
Has that Michelle in the cello vibe. I mean, if you guys don't know, but just very chill and vibey, kind of like jazzy, soulful jazz. But she spit like Doechii Cat. I mean, she was definitely like I said, delivering lines galore.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the song Boom Bap, where she's once again spitting, but I felt like she was dissing the old dudes. Like I felt like just like she was spit, and then like for the chorus, it was kind of like making fun of old school hip hop.
Yeah, her and No Name I think have like that in common a little bit.
And then Slide. I felt like it was the party vibe of the album.
Yeah.
It could be the next thing. I could see that definitely like being played on the radio constantly.
I was never bored listening to any songs on the album. I slided. I slide 50 made me realize that. I was like, oh, these songs are all just as good.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me, my favorite song of the album was Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I really love the vibe and the soul. And then, like I said, she can display her talents. She was spitting, but she was also singing. So I thought that was probably like the highlight of the album for me, or the mixtape for me.
But
I thought it was a good album. I liked it a lot. I think my favorite song, we've already gone over it. What was it? Is
Not Nissan Altima.
no.
I didn't care for that.
Not-
Like after listening to the body of work, Nissan Altima was like probably like one of my least favorite songs.
That was something that came out first, right?
Yeah. It came out like last week.
My song likes it a lot, but I agree on the album, it kind of fades into the background a little bit.
What is it? Denials the River?
Yeah. When she's talking to a therapist.
Yeah. That was definitely without doubt my favorite song on the album. I thought it was just super dope. And I think something about that song and Boom Bap, which you mentioned, is to me those highlighted how good her technical ability was. So like at the end of the Denial in the River, you hear her do that breathing, and that breathing is on beat. You know, that breathing is on beat. And then on Boom Bap, when she comes in, boom bappity, that's on beat. Like she could be spitting bars right there, but she ain't gotta do that. She doesn't need to do that because you can tell by the way she's breathing, by the way she's boom bappity, that she could spit bars right there if she needed to. And that's what the technical ability that she displays in this album, I think, is insane.
And I hated that part too. Deny the River, the breathing part. I was like, oh man, I thought the song was dope. I just felt like you could have skipped the breathing part. But I know how she went from Wusa and transition or whatever. I mean, the whole concept was cool.
Yeah.
And definitely displays her talent. So I was really happy to check that out.
Yeah.
What are you fact checking?
I'm trying to find the song that I showed from earlier. Oh, sorry. Kanye West and Jamie Foxx, Digital Girls.
Still doesn't ring a bell.
That was such a hit back in the day. Look into it.
Hey Google, what's the difference between a mixtape and an album?
On the website unionrecstudios.com, they say, an album is a collection of structured songs that tell a story, whereas mixtapes are collections of random songs. An album contains original tracks by an artist or group of artists, whereas a mixtape may have unoriginal songs, covers, or instrumentals. To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
Thank you.
I feel like in hip hop, usually like before mixtapes had a lot of other artist beats. You know, you hear Lil Wayne on the Drought come in and steal some of the beat and make it, you know, better than they did.
Right.
But I don't. That's not what this is. You know.
Yeah, I feel like we've heard albums this year that felt like random questions of songs. But I was like, songs to like them.
Absolutely.
It was like this album, like Logic's album, 2 or 3 even Big Sean's album feel like collections of cohesive like materials. So it's hard for me. I think it was as an album, honestly. It feels like an album to me personally.
What would you? Well, so I mean, I know we're like this kind of thought, but what do you feel like it deserves as far as ranking goes?
I think right there, I want to talk a little bit about just like the theming present in this album.
Yeah. What's the theme here?
I think
I'll get bit by that.
But like, it's really like a metaphor, right?
Yeah.
I think it shows a lot of
depth,
bitterness to a degree, a lot of like resentment towards like certain circumstances. Where I think she references like, you know, she tried going clean as the dead ends, back on the. I feel like for as kind of hype as these songs are, I was kind of like, oh, this person is not you know, as you said, in a dark place, right? And I feel like it does take a certain level of skill to have those emotions. I attracted them into an album that's been listened to. Shout out to Outkast. And so I think it elevates soul together. Like, it really helps me to like find my through line with the album. Just to do repeat lessons for me. So I think for me, it's probably at least a 4, if not higher. Honestly, it's a really solid body work.
Absolutely, I agree. And I mean, she was very open and honest as I was listening to it. Like when I was walking, I was listening to it, and you know, like sometimes I hear stuff and it's just like, oh, it's just vulgarity. Like I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear all this vulgar stuff. Like if it has a reason for it being vulgar, cool, whatever. Like I can respect the story, but some artists is just saying words just to like get something out of you, and but it wasn't the case for this particular project. You know, like I felt like when she was delivering her skill, I mean her raps and displaying her skills, there was a message, and even an undertone. Like she was, you know, talking about living in LA and talking about popping pills and getting drunk and getting high, but at the same time she's going through all this stuff, you know what I mean? Or she's trying to figure out how to manage all the different things that are going on in her life within her day. And she's like, you know, on the phone with her mom, and her mom's like, look, it's only 24 hours in a day, there's only so much you can do, you know what I mean?
That track was in general. I was like, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I could feel that, and so you know, I appreciate her being vulnerable and honest, you know, to the world, and displays. And I think it's the reason why she's signed to TDE, and I think it's another reason why she's, you know, on her way to a very good position in the music industry.
Yeah.
So as far as ranking goes, though, man, it is a mixtape, but I don't think we've given a mixtape a ranking before.
I guess we haven't, you're right. We didn't give Drake some rating.
As a mixtape, this is a 5. No more questions.
Well, no, because in my head, a 5 mixtape is not J.K. Mad City. What is it? 808.
808?
Yeah.
Wait, what? No, it's not 808.
No, sorry. What's the country mixtape? What's the mixtape before?
Section 80.
Section 80. I'm like, it's not 808.
I'm like, 808 Heartbreak? That's not a mixtape, guys.
That's great by the judge. But yeah, it's fucking Section 80. It's me. I can't the 5 mixtape, right? That's the best.
Yeah. I'll go for it. I'll go 4.5.
I think 4.5. I think it's not good as Section 80, but it like definitely it's the same like ballpark for me.
As far as mixtapes go, I'm thinking this is a 5.
All right, that means it's our highest score for like anything I think so far we've done in the show.
Yeah.
Because we dumped it.
And you're not gonna regret. You're not gonna come back and change your mind and be like, "Oh, I should have Eminem'd it."
Hey, you know what?
For the Eminem,
I'll cross that road when we get to another mixtape.
Oh, that's to be clear. That's like what? That is a 4.25, I think. It's not higher. No.
What? 4.75 is not higher.
Again, I just told it, man. Everybody's still good.
4.5 plus 4.5 is 9.
Yeah, but
Plus 5 is 14.
That's by 3.
14 divided by 3.
Sure, yeah, 14 divided by 3. That's going to be an uneven number, I'll tell you, man.
So that's what you get to 5 then.
What I was able to tell you was 14 over 15 of the fraction. And you take the fraction, and you multiply the fraction by 2, you got 28 over 30. And you take 28 up of 30, and you divide that by 3.
How is that? I mean,
then you divide that by 3.
So mine is so outrageous, but your thing is so faithful. Okay.
I'm so stuck on trying to read the Odyssey. You guys talking about.
Alright, folks, we're done here tonight. Thank you for watching. I've been Jeremiah. That's Adopted. That's his father. Come to our next pop-up show in
October 28th, the Enclave in Torrance.
That's right.
No, I'm sorry. September 28th. My bad. Woo, Lord.
That's
Get out of here.
September 28th.
Enclave, Torrance.
That's right.
I'll be there. Everyone's
Check out
favorite podcast.
our website for some new merchandise.
Hey, hold up. Let's talk about your project coming up. It may not be coming up soon, but it's coming, and it's a big deal.
Right. So I'm going to be part of the Inglewood Art Walk. I'm just going to talk about this. On November 9th and 10th, I will be there legally, and I'll be showing some of my art.
Actually, I'll be there
That's
legally.
okay. Yeah. And so my
We'll
father.
be there legally.
Yeah.
Unless the police harass us because we're in the United States. All right, guys, have a good day.
Historically, they will, by the way. But anyway, good night.
Final Thoughts Podcast.
Don't leave.
I'm not.